Hello everyone, Jacob here. In the last 3 or 4 lessons, we've been talking about indirect speech, which in Korean means 간접 화법. And today we're going to be continuing with that by discussing this structure, 뭐뭐 하냐고 하다, in English. So how do we say this? To ask someone if plus a full sentence. Okay? And in some cases, this is translated to 뭐뭐 하는지 묻다. Okay, so I just wanted to write that down for you. Sometimes it's translated to 뭐뭐 하냐고 하다. Sometimes 뭐뭐 하는지 뭐뭐 안 하는지 묻다. Okay, and when do we use this structure? Basically, to talk about or to say what someone asked someone else. All right, so in the past 3-4 lessons, we've been talking about what someone said to someone else, what someone told someone else, talking about just normal sentences. But today, we're going to talk about how to say what someone asked someone else, questions. All right, and this is specific for yes or no questions. Okay, if we're using this structure, it's to say yes or no questions that other people asked. All right, and let's go ahead and look at our first example. Koreans often ask me, Koreans often ask me many things. But one thing that Korean people ask me a lot is if I like spicy food. Koreans always ask me if I like spicy food, especially if we are eating together and we order something that's even a little bit spicy. They will always say, they will always ask me, is it okay? Do you like spicy food? They get really concerned and worried and even a little bit curious. Koreans are always very curious about foreigners, and they ask us a lot of questions. But one is this one right here. Koreans often ask me if I like spicy food. So in this sentence, or how are we using this structure here? Someone asks someone if, and then a full sentence. And what does this mean? How would I translate this in Korean? 한국 사람은 내가 매운 음식 좋아하냐고 많이 해요. Or 좋아하는지 물어요. Okay? So that's how you would say that in Korean. And let's look at a second example. Carl usually asks his students if they studied. Okay? If he feels like maybe the student didn't study very much, then he will just ask him or her. He will ask them, did you study? Very seriously, and try and figure out whether or not they studied. And if they didn't, usually he gets very angry or he yells at them. So if you're in Carl's class, better watch out, because he usually asks his students if they studied. Okay? So again, here we're using the same structure to ask someone if plus a full sentence. Let's look at one last example and then we'll wrap up. So our last example is just kind of general. He asked her if she wanted to go out with him. Okay, go out has a few meanings, but here I'm talking about 사귀다. So he asked her if she wanted to go out with him. 사귀고 싶냐고 물었어요, or 했어요. All right. So here again, he asked her to ask someone if, and then a full sentence. All right. So those are our 3 examples that I wanted to go over. Before we finish the lesson, I just want to mention real quick that here we're using if, but we can also use whether. Okay, that's okay too. So in all of these sentences, I can change if to whether. Koreans often ask me whether I like spicy food. Carl usually asks his students whether they studied. He asked her whether she wanted to go out with him. Okay? I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I hope you understood, and I'll see you next time.